What happened next? Oh, we fought that goblin.
Oh, that despicable creature.
Oh. Wasn't so bad. It wasn't too kind.
It was living on a pile of bodies. Say what you want about Lord Moore's furniture, at least at no point did it have a face.
Yeah, but Litonk had that bloody dog's head on top of his pan at that point.
It's not quite the same.
Oh no, because the skulls have just worn down and the doggo's still pretty much fresh on top of there.
Well, to be fair, those dogs did seem to need a bit more discipline than they had.
We dealt with that big gobbo.
It took long enough.
It didn't take that long. But then we headed back up the house and chatted to that William fella.
Yes, with your new pet in tow.
Yes, with my doggo friend.
Are all animals quite that simple? Or was it just the ones that had been undead for a little bit? Was it getting to them?
No, that's pretty common. So, we chatted to that William fella, and he seemed awful happy to have his brother's ashes back. And although he seemed a bit up in the air about the whole thing, he was willing to let me have the staff his brother used to use for flying.
Yes, it seemed a little bit mean of you to take it, but understandable if it was just going to sit on a shelf.
Okay, I didn't take any of his goals, didn't want to know that.
Yes, in my opinion, a double insult. When a lord makes a promise and you force them to go back on it, then you make them seem, at the very least, some fool at your charity.
What do you mean?
I mean, perhaps you should follow the lead of the one who was raised round nobles when behaving round them.
Look, I don't have to put on airs and greases for nobody.
It would have behooved you to do so.
No, I don't have hooves, got big old feet. Anyway, we took the spear, you took most of the gold.
You make it sound like I wasn't going to share.
Listen, Litonk and I topped up on what we needed, and you took a great deal. Obviously, you value that kind of thing much more than we do.
What? Foresight? Yes. Strangely.
It's just gold, it doesn't mean anything. Can't love you. And anyway, you've got to carry the damn stuff.
Or, and hear me out, pay someone to carry everything for you because guess what? Now you're the one with all the gold. You can focus on more important things that they couldn't have done without you.
You can't just have friends hang around, they don't have to carry shit for you. Anyway, so, we spoke to Lord Moore and he painted us a picture. And that basically seemed to go to another world. He was explaining how, like, his family used to look after creatures from another world, and that's what the pins were for. Apparently it wasn't so much underground in this other dimension thing.
Even the dog thought the man was insane.
Well, the dogs are usually pretty insightful.
Do you think it was another world then? Not just another city?
I don't know. Not for me to say. You're the magic one. I just look after nature stuff.
Well, apparently he talks to bunnies there.
Well,
perhaps we should have stuck around.
Maybe we can go back after we've dealt with the rats.
Yes, thank you for agreeing to come and help me with that, by the way.
It's fine. Anyway, you already smell of, like, sewer, so you might as well just, keep it going before you have your next bath.
Had to bring that up, huh?
I did. I was about to bring my lunch up because you smelled so bad.
That was just rude.
So that mean that you were friends then? Did you team up and become heroes?
So you had just exited the manor and are standing over the cliffside. By this point, it's early evening. The sun is setting far in the distance and casting kind of a reddy yellow light over the moors. So you can see the town in the distance. It's about an hour's hike away. What is it that you guys want to do?
I feel like we need a long rest. Is there a tavern nearby?
Nearby? No. It's in town.
I don't want to be that guy, but didn't we just walk up from town in not very long from a tavern?
Took you guys about an hour.
Really? That was not...
I'm
it
gonna
felt
say
like
it did.
A 20-minute jaunt at best.
Yeah. Wander up from the hill, chat to a couple of trees. Okay, an hour, right. And then the water from the sewers of the town
Mm-hmm.
is an hour away.
Yes.
It's running uphill.
Yep.
For an hour.
Yes.
I don't
Right.
want to pick at you for continuity errors here.
Water moves faster.
How?
Water moves faster than gravity.
Yes.
This is canon now. Okay. Alright, so it's a pressurised sewer system as well. It's really fancy.
How do you know that it's not just the water from the keep that goes down into the town's sewer system?
Because we asked Lord Moore and he told us that it was from the sewers.
That's a lot of trust
Yeah.
that you're putting in him, considering you guys don't think that he's good at anything else.
He's certainly not very good at decoration.
You can do painting though.
Yeah, you can paint a hole in reality. So, on the road up from the town itself to the Moore estate,
Mm-hmm.
is there... Does it look fairly safe around here? Could we maybe just camp?
Yeah.
Okay. I reckon we probably need a bit of a rest, you know. Gotta recover some of my magical stamina, so it was. So anyone here for kipping here tonight?
Outside?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like some of us aren't covered in sewage.
You're covered in sewage. Why are you complaining about sleeping outside?
Because I'm an hour's walk from the nearest bath. And do you want to stay here and make it 9? 10?
I mean,
What?
That's fine with me.
And you're a mage, can't you just, wash it off?
Oh yes, that's what magic is for.
Yeah, that's what prestidigitation's for.
You can use purchase.
Well, come along then.
Listen, I'm a druid. I don't know things like that. We're just happy being dirty.
That would explain so much.
They can clean the rest of me, but they can't get rid of the filth between ears.
You're technically right in front of a available bath. You'd always ask the Lord to let you guys stay the night.
I have no idea what's going to crawl out of those plug holes, alright?
It just seemed a bit weird as well. Sort of
Yeah, we
going,
just
bye!
right, in a bit, mate, we're off. We're in a rush. We're going to go and kill a... fuck it. Second thoughts, you got any hobnobs?
Oh, I love a good hobnob.
What
Cheesecake now.
is what is that?
It's a
like
biscuit.
an naughty biscuit.
Ah,
So,
I just like the idea that when you're talking to Nick, but in Trees' voice, that we're all just stood watching her talk to a voice in her head, like, I'm not going to fuck with her, she's 7 too.
listen, God moves in mysterious ways. Almost like it's mainly controlled by a roll of the fucking dice. Right.
Okay, how about we take a rest, but away from... And I'm just going to gesture at whatever's passing for a castle next to us.
Alright, Grumpy Bum, you pick the location and we'll just settle down, shall we?
How about when we come across something living?
Right you are. Well, there's a tree over there.
Your sad dead tree friend?
It's not dead. It's just resting.
Okay. Oh. Now I've just got this horrible image that no one ever explained death to trees because it had upset her.
I think trees
You
gets
know what
death.
death is?
Yeah.
I'm a druid, I understand all that.
Oh.
So we're going to camp by the tree that's pining for the fjords.
Possibly.
Okay.
Listen, enough you pick where you want to rest. You're the one that's fussy about it.
Can we head far enough down the hill that at least we're not near the...
Should we just go back to town?
Yeah, sounds like the best idea. She's not going to be happy otherwise.
I want it noted I did try to meet you halfway.
Halfway up a fucking hill.
Down?
Up, down, doesn't fucking matter.
Okay. So, after a good long argue, the three of you decide to head back into town. Is there anywhere specific you want to go? You did start near a tavern.
So, Trees, to be clear, I don't mean to sound rude, but...
You are, so there we are stuck.
Well, charming as you are, my question was going to be, are you alright sleeping in buildings, or does it make you uncomfortable, given that you seem to have been raised away from them?
I don't mind. I just want to rest. It's been a long day.
Okay, excellent. Litonk, thoughts?
I don't know, like an hour to walk to a town seems like a farce. Like, I wanted to stay there because I didn't have to walk for an hour to have a kip.
Another DM pointed out the phenomenon to me that for some reason people still argue about how long they should or should not walk when it's absolutely not them doing the walking.
It's called role-playing.
Yeah, Nick, look it up.
I'm 2'9". How long do you think my legs are?
Maybe like me and Trace can just get an handle each and...
Put his fucking pot off.
Just carry him like a basket.
Just skipping down the hill. Complaining little halfling between us, yeah.
Perfect. So, I mean, you guys are continuing to argue while walking. Nothing appears to be getting done.
As we wander, I'm going to cast Animal Friendship on that dog. So this would make it a 24-hour spell rather than an hour.
Okay.
So it's got to survive a saving throw. Wisdom.
Is that to resist?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it failed.
Doggo friends.
Trees. After a moment, you realize the dog is getting a little fidgety, so you kind of kneel, which is still too tall for the dog. So you kind of get down on your hands and knees, and you look at the dog in the eye, and you whisper, "Friend." And the dog nods, understandingly. Do you wish to name this dog?
It's just Doggo. He doesn't need a name.
Okay.
If a name happens to come up along the way, if it seems appropriate that a certain name fits it, perhaps I will name it. But no, it's just a Doggo.
Okay.
Thoughts just crossed my mind. Trees, does Doggo mind that I'm wearing the severed head of another dog?
Hey, Doggo. Are you bothered by the severed head there?
The doggo looks at Litonk, kind of cocks his head to the side, looking him up and down, and then he looks back at you and he goes, "Is that not a dog?"
Sort of a dog. It's the monk with a pan on his head and a dog on top of his pan.
Did the dog think I was just like a two-legged dog?
Yes.
They're not very smart.
Okay.
Bit dull in the eyes, maybe, but...
Anyway, Doggo, let's not bother with that.
Okay, big dog.
Is Trees giving us a running translation for this?
Doggo's fine with the dog head thing. Like
Good.
most dogs, it basically just thinks we're other dogs because, they're not that smart.
Wait, if it thinks everything else is a big dog, does that mean the big rat might not be a rat? Can we ask about that?
Hey, Doggo, you remember the big rats that escaped up the water?
Yes.
Can you tell us anything more about the big rat?
It's mean. And it smells.
And it's definitely not a Doggo.
Maybe it's a dog.
No, definitely a rat.
Very well.
Looks sheep, but says nothing. Right, on we go.
Are we going to get accommodation at the tavern, or is there somewhere else either of you had in mind?
I don't really know this place.
I'm quite happy to sleep on the streets, but at the same time, I kind of want to splash out.
I'll treat you.
Okay.
After all, you did watch us fight some crocodiles, and you didn't stick any darts in me.
I didn't stick a dart in anyone, I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you stuck one in my shoulder.
I thought that was you.
That's what I said. You stuck it in my shoulder.
No, I thought you threw it.
She
No.
threw it after she got it out of her shoulder.
Ah, yeah. Ah, good old times.
Yes, good old times.
All right. What does splash out mean?
Throw a lot of money at something.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realise that wasn't a
Nope.
thing.
Many things.
If you don't splash out, what do you do?
The Americanism for that? Like, I think it would
Yeah.
be bawling out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use that phrase either, though. So.
So when I asked you what you did, you just told me what other people do.
Oh yeah, because I use old people slang and big words that get me made fun of as an adult. I'm not gonna have this crisis on the podcast. Let's move on. All right, so you make it to the town without much incident or arguing after you finally decide to eventually get there. The main road leads you back to the Dirty Dog easily enough, although you do know that there are other taverns in town. You have the choice of kind of shopping around, or you can just stay here.
I feel like what you've done is you've waited for us to get to a point where we're all in agreement and just gone, surprise!
What's the fanciest tavern?
The fanciest tavern. If you want to spend a little time, you can search around.
I feel like enough would know the answer to that.
Litonk wants to have the
Yeah.
most luxurious sleep he's
Oh.
had for decades.
Okay.
So if we just find
So
you a clean bin.
Weird behavior from the chaste
Yeah.
monk, but okay. Yeah, there is a tavern in town that you hear tell of called the Peacock's Feather. It's supposed to be very, very nice.
I think we should go to the Peacock's Feather.
Very well. Trees, is that fine with you?
I'm happy with whatever right now. It's we've been at this for ages. We just pick somewhere and stay there.
And given your attitude, will we be staying there?
Depends entirely on the rest of the clientele, whether or not I have to
I
break.
have many reservations.
Yeah, maybe we should
well,
go
then
to the
they'll
Dirty
be
Dog.
expecting us if you've got a reservation.
I'm just going to walk off with my ears twitching and just, I don't care if you follow. So what's the Peacock's Feather like, Nick?
All right. The Peacock's Feather takes a little bit of time to find. Over towards the harbor, you find a tall, actually very luxurious looking building. Nicely painted, well kept, unlike pretty much everywhere else around it, which has fallen into a mild state of disrepair. Inside, you find mostly empty tables, a bar with a rather bored-looking barmaid, an Undine woman, just kind of leaning on the counter, who takes notice of the three of you as you walk in, and she kind of stands up straight, putting on a happy-looking face. Yeah, it's very clean. It smells nice, but it is very, very empty.
Lively in air in it.
I'm going to walk up to the barmaid. Good evening, miss. My travelling companions and I were hoping to find a room for the night.
Oh, would that be one room for the three of you, or a room each?
I'm going to offer Trees a questioning look.
Up to you, I'm not fussed.
Litonk?
Litonk's going to reply, luxury, but do jazz hands at the same time.
You've changed, man.
One little job for a noble, and suddenly he thinks he's the 1%.
I mean, compared to the rest of this team, he is about 1% of it. No offence.
Would it be possible to take a grand room for the three of us to share, please?
Certainly. She pulls out the ledger, kind of takes a look down at it, takes a look up at the three of you, and she gives a modest little cough. Will you be paying now, or?
If you can take a deposit against this, and enough is going to show her right hand with a signet ring on it from the Rose House, and I can have my house remunerate you for the rest of it, or would you prefer cash now?
The barmaid's gonna take a look at it, and her eyes are gonna pop a little bit. Oh, well, certainly. If you can take a 10 gold deposit, I'll happily send the rest to the appropriate people.
Much obliged, miss. I shall leave a note in our room with whom to contact at the estate. I understand the hour's quite late, but would you happen to have a chef available on staff?
Oh, it's not late at all. She gives you a small bow, and retrieves 3 small silver keys, placing them on the counter. Why don't you go and wash yourselves up? I'm sure that you had a interesting journey today, and you can come back and put in an order for anything you'd like.
No idea.
Thank you very much, miss. If a member of the town watch comes by, please could you let them know, firstly, that we ought to have seen to the problem with the occasional undead incursions from the castle, and secondly, if there is another one tonight, to come and rouse us immediately. Would that be all right?
She looks confused. Undead incursions?
Ah, the Moor estate had somewhat of a problem with creatures of the night, I believe they were introduced to us as. Were you aware that adventurers were being summoned and not returning?
No. There are people still alive at the old estate?
Maybe.
My. In that case, please could you arrange the town guard to come and visit us in the morning? We may have more to discuss than I was first led to believe.
Well, of course. She gives you a small bow again. Tree, she's gonna take a look at you and, like, size you up. Would you be in need of a large bed?
Probably about as large as you've got, love.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you kindly. And I'll pop 10 gold on the counter.
Enough's gonna make that up to 50. Miss, this should be enough to cover our meals, accommodation, and a tip for yourself.
Oh, absolutely, thank you.
Would you be so kind as to point me towards the bathhouses?
Well, the room that I've sent you to does include its own washing facilities. It's here on the first floor, actually.
Excellent.
Fancy.
She's gonna look over at Litonk and kind of look back at the two of you, and she's not gonna say anything, but she's just gonna point, confused.
Litonk's just, having sensed this, is just going to go, rah!
Sorry, miss. The monk's somewhat eccentric, but quite useful.
Alright, well, she doesn't say anything to that, she just kind of frowns but nods.
Litonk's going to take one of the keys and... Do we know where the room is? Or...
Well, I'm waiting for Nick to be like, and the woman takes you to the room, because that's what hotels do.
Maybe your hotels.
Yeah, maybe your guys' hotels.
Well, they at least tell you what room number, don't they?
No.
Here's the key, good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
You don't even have
well,
a number on
if
it,
the
mate.
three of you, if you aren't gonna say anything else, the woman will show you over to your estate rooms, I guess. She leads you to the back of the dining area, behind a nice velvety curtain, to a long hall of similarly ornate doors. Leading you to the very first one, she demonstratively unlocks the door with the key, handing it to you enough before gesturing you inside.
I've grabbed my hotel key, and I'm following along.
Litonk, do you follow along as well? Do you need
Yeah,
somebody to
sorry,
hold
I
your
saw
hand?
that was
Yeah, my theory was that he just sort of tags along with us for fear of just
Okay.
being stood there, lost
Perfect.
and confused.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I wasn't still stood at the
Stood
bar.
in the lobby wondering why it's gotten quiet.
You've made a blind character. I'm really not sure. All right. So inside the room is pretty much like a small apartment Or I guess it'd be more like a large apartment. There's a small living area with a few chairs set around an indoor fire that seems to be well contained in some kind of metal contraption. There are washing tubs of various size, along with an indoor tap, and 4 large, very large beds. Trees, you think actually that you might be able to fit into the biggest one.
That's surprising. You don't usually have a bed big enough for someone like me. Nice, though.
I imagine it's not supposed to be an individual bed, dear.
Trees is just going to ignore that and wander over and chuck her pack down by the bed.
All right.
Start running a bar.
The Indian woman kind of pauses on the door and she says, if you'd like, I can take your order now and have the food sent over here.
Of course. Would you be so kind as to prepare something vegetable-based for myself? Trees?
Just some fresh veg.
Litonk, do you know what you'd like to order, or should I order for you?
Are you paying for all this?
I have paid for all of this.
I'll have the most expensive thing.
What happened to you? We had 3 weeks off. 3 weeks off, and suddenly he's become a fancy.
This is some role play. All right. The Indian woman kind of gives a quizzical look at Litonk, but nods and says, absolutely, I'll be back in just a few moments.
Thank you, miss. Oh, one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a healer or some sort of medical practitioner in town?
Me, I heal. That's what I do.
We're also about to have a long rest, which is going to heal us. Or is that not what you were asking about?
I was asking about your damn pan.
My pan?
Yeah.
You don't need a healer for that.
I feel like it needs looking at.
Maybe a blacksmith. Or just some goose fat.
It feels like something out of 2 Point Hospital.
Pretty sure it is something out of 2 Point Hospital.
Oh my god, it is. It's pandemic. Why is it taking me this? It's taken me the best part of 6 weeks.
Up until 2 Point Hospital, I'm going to assume all of that was in character.
Litonk's gonna... You said there was a fire?
Yes.
Yeah, Litonk's gonna sit in front of the fire and start meditating.
Enough is going to walk over, take your dog's head off, and put it away from the fire.
Yeah. I was waiting to see if you'd remember or realize that that's why she was staring at you.
I told her that she was eccentric. Come on, if she's used to nobles, this is not the weirdest thing she's ever seen.
No. It's probably the grossest thing she's seen in a while.
No
I don't know,
kind
some
taste.
gammon-faced lord having a stranglewank in a cupboard.
I mean, come on, she's basically led us to the argument. There is no reason that we need this much bed in one place.
There's a tree-shaped reason for this much bed in this place.
I'm pretty sure that that's like a family-sized bed.
Well, I'm going to keep running my bath. Or filling it from the tap or whatever.
Did you say
How
there
big's
was...
the bath?
There are tubs of various size. There's
Are
a...
they all in separate rooms, or...?
Well, there are
Yeah,
little...
do we have a floor plan?
Yeah. Why have you given us a floor plan, Nick? What's wrong with you?
Why do you want a floor plan for this room?
Because I'm not just going to be, like, prancing around naked in
Okay.
front of everyone, am I? And Trees probably is, and that's going to cause arguments.
So each of the tubs does have a little, like, privacy screen that comes with. You're free to not use it, but you can also set it up.
There's towels as well.
Yes.
Good.
Right. Enough's gonna grab a robe, start running her own bath, and then just like go and check on Litonk by the fire, make sure that he's not meditated his head cooked through that pan.
There's one tap. You're probably going to have to wait until I'm...
Oh, I thought they all had their own taps. Sorry.
No. There is... The one that Trees is filling is closer to, like, a horse trough in size.
Well, if my bath is run, I am going to hike a privacy screen directly between me and Enough, because she seems the fancy sort that's going to get offended by my fuzzy bits. My thighs, obviously. And get in the bath fully dressed initially, and then once everything's cleanish, I'm going to take my dungies and knit my knickers off, and let them dry a bit near the fire, and get back in and
All right.
Did you see how we all rushed to follow that sentence?
It wasn't. Fuzzy Bits is not obvious to me as thighs, by the way, so thank you for that.
She's a fuzzy girl.
Right, so can I have a bath yet or not? Like, is she hogging the tap still?
No,
Obviously, yeah.
tap's
Finish
done.
with the tap.
Right. So, Enough's going to start 2 separate baths running. One for the, she's going to run a quick one for the clothes and another one for herself.
Okay.
Some of us weren't raised in a forest. Litonk, would you like us to run you a bath? Litonk.
I think he's meditating, love.
Well, it's not like I can leave him a note. So Enough's gonna grab a robe, a bath, and chuck her clothes to go get cleaned in the other one.
Okay. After, I'll say while you're doing this, a knock comes at the door. The door does not open, but you hear the rustle of something outside the door.
I'll nip out the bath and answer that.
Please, can you just clarify that you're wearing something?
No. I will stand in a position that puts most of me behind the door.
Okay. So outside, as you open the door, you find the Undine girl standing beside a cart. She kind of looks up at you, takes notice that you are dripping wet, and
How pretty is this Undine girl?
Apparently enough that I'm dripping wet.
wow, from the bath, and she kind of looks down at the floor and says, "Oh, sorry, your food is done."
Ah, thanks, Lev. I'm gonna pop that cart here and I'll just, I'll make sure it gets equally distributed.
All right, she pushes the cart a little closer to the door, gives a small bow, and then leaves again.
Have a good night, Lev, and I'll hoik the cart in.
You hear her thank you. All right, the cart is full of... So you gave her a lot of money, and considering that 2 of you just asked for fresh vegetables, there is like a cart full of vegetables here. The top layer is filled with like fresh lettuce, celery, radishes, onions, potatoes. Trying to remember if there are other vegetables. I'm avoiding saying tomato.
Parsnips, turnips,
Yes,
Oh, it has to be broccoli.
broccoli.
I like tiny trees.
cauliflower.
Yes.
I like tiny brains.
It's like a small veggie cart. On the second layer, you find 2 large covered dishes.
Is there like a plate somewhere I can grab?
Yeah, there's a bunch of plates.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a plate and dish myself up like a huge plate of just veg, and then sort of wheel the cart towards enough in the bath, and get back in my bath and get munching.
Okay.
Enough's gonna get out of the bath, dry herself off, get a robe on, go get herself a plate of food, and just go and see if she can get Litonk's attention.
Can she get Litonk's attention?
Roll for throwing a hard object at a metal pan, I guess.
That's how much attempt you're going to make to get my attention.
No, just gonna walk over and just reach out a hand, put it on your shoulder, and if you don't start, just give you a little rousing shake. Litonk, your food's here.
I thought you were raised proper.
Excuse me?
It's rude.
Care to elaborate?
I'm trying to focus my mind and my soul, and you start shouting at me and knocking my shoulder.
Told you.
My apologies. I'm quite unfamiliar with monks. I didn't mean to cause offence. Your meal's here, and I will leave you be.
Litonk's going to go and... What was under the dishes?
Nobody knows.
He's going to check what's under the dishes.
Okay. I'm not sure. I've
A
realized
very
that
expensive meal.
a blind person is not going to be able to see this. I'm going to describe
Sniff
this
it.
to Enough. Underneath the first dish, you find a medley of different eggs. All of them prepared differently. The usual assortment of poached, fried, scrambled. The ones that are boiled, however, are gold in color.
Would that mean up to me?
Would that mean... Sorry?
Would I know what that was about?
You can roll a local knowledge check.
What the? I got 0.06. I don't know how I did that.
1 in 15. What the?
Because you rolled.
Oh,
Uh,
1 over
you rolled it
d20.
wrong.
There we go.
Okay. So
There we go.
that'd be just
16. Is that
16.
better?
It is better. It was going to be fine either way. You've heard about, at least with nobles having these kind of golden exotic bird eggs. You don't know the bird or where it comes from, but you do know that they're highly sought after and supposed to be very, very good. They're also on the expensive side, so...
It's going to be fun for him not knowing what any of this is.
It's going to be able to smell at its eggs.
Yeah, but until he asks for a description, he's not getting one.
Yeah, they actually give off... They don't smell like eggs that you've had. You actually, by smell, cannot tell what it is.
Ah, even better.
It has a rich, kind of creamy aroma. You wouldn't be surprised if you have cake in front of you, but again, you can't see, so... underneath the second dish is a large grilled slab of meat. I don't know if enough in trees would have no idea what this is. And just by smell alone, Litonk, you don't know what it is. You think it's beef.
Okay. I think we'd put too much effort into this. It's just fucking food.
I want to know why, Enough doesn't recognise beef.
You're not familiar
alright.
with it. You wouldn't eat it a lot. You really only know the eggs thing because it's gold in color, and you know that people eat them a lot.
I don't know. I feel like I'd have seen a steak in my life. You're the boss. It's fine.
Well, okay, so you know it's a steak. You just don't know if there's anything special about it.
Okay. So I'm going to guess that this is like the most beautifully presented steak ever. It's not just like a seared hunk on a plate, yeah?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Litonk's gonna get a plate and get a bit of everything, I guess.
Some of the uncooked vegetables as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's gonna go back to the fire and sit down and then start munching away.
perfect. So this is easily the best food that you've ever had. And I'm going to say that you get a +1 morale bonus for the next day.
Nice. What does morale do?
I don't have a clue.
It will apply to skill checks, attack rolls, not damage.
I just love the idea that there's just like me and Trees sat quietly, separately, just eating leaves. And there's just this tiny little thing by the fire going absolutely to town on the most decadent thing that you can come up with.
Oh, God, this food!
It's pretty good, right? Don't usually get the crunchy stuff. It's usually a bit limp. I think by the time Teresa's finished dinner, she's going to get out of the bath.
All right.
So towel off, and check the dryness of my knickers as they're hanging by the fire.
They are sufficiently dried.
Hurrah! I'm going to get redressed then, and I'm going to sit in a corner or sit by a window, pop out a bit of wood, maybe about 8 inches long, and my little carving knife, and I'm going to sit and just whittle by the window.
Aw.
Enough's going to watch this sort of quietly annoyed that she's making a load of sawdust, but a little bit curious as to what this is all for. Well, I feel like I'm
We're
going to
all
have
going
to...
to sit here in silence.
Yeah, that's obviously...
Curious enough to ask the question?
I don't know, every time I ask her a question, she fucking puts me on the floor, Nick. Have you not noticed that there's a pattern here? Trees, if you don't mind my asking, is there a particular reason you're causing the maid more work?
Don't worry, I'll clean it up.
Okay, so you craft, I take it?
Sure, yeah, I got a little side business, you know. I've knocked out 10 gold today, so I thought it might be an idea to get some more stock made.
Oh, what is it you make?
Oh, you know, I just whittle my own dildos. Sell them off to anyone who wants one. You know, they're pretty good. I've been working on them for about 30 odd years now.
I will pay you that 10 gold back if this conversation ends now.
Could just see happy with your answer and just leave it at that.
Wasn't there like 200 gold in that chest? Now that you're adventuring, don't you think you could get more gold that way?
Maybe, but, you know, my personal thing is that I don't generally like to have more than about 40 gold. I don't really need more than that. It's a pain in the ass to carry.
Okay.
I'm just not a big fan of gold. I have as much as I need and that'll do.
No, I can respect that, but adventuring seems to offer more gold than selling the odd dildo. You know, so...
You see that? I make bloody good dildos.
Okay.
I used to have a friend who did a bit of magic. He could make him vibrate in more ways than one.
Enough's just gonna, like, put her food down and just, like, go check on her clothes. All clean, all good, Nick?
Yes, everything is cleaned. I'll say even better than, your last wash.
Wow, I'm really good at putting things in a bath. So, why are you in town, Trees?
Just out for a wander, thought I'd see what was going on. Got sort of vaguely interested in what was going on at the Moore place. Bumped into this little guy and that's pretty much up to date really, innit?
If that's all you wish to share, but I'm sorry you're alone.
Yeah, I've got Doggo now. Hanging out with you guys. I'm a long-lived species. Used to spending a lot of it alone. People come and go.
Members of your own species?
I had a bit of a problem with my tribe, so I got asked to leave. Perfectly alright by me. I'm gonna check on the trolley for anything that might be good to my doggo.
Your specific order was Litonk wanted the most expensive thing on the menu and fresh vegetables. So there's no just like meat or bones or anything like that. There's plenty of vegetable.
You can have some eggs and some bed.
Oh god, why would you feed a dog eggs? That was a real cat person answer, wasn't it?
I don't know, I don't like dogs IRL. They're scary.
Yeah, your dog's gonna smell scary now, good job.
Might be fine, it'll scare the rats off or whatever.
Yeah, the doggo happily laps up the eggs. He kind of looks curiously at the vegetables that you give him and chews at them. He looks up at you, down at the vegetables, sees you eating them, and attempts to emulate you. He does not look happy, but he is trying.
Are there any peas? Because dogs love peas.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Enough's just gonna, like, watch Trees seemingly having no understanding of how to feed a dog and get, like, a handful of peas and throw one up for him to catch.
That he is interested by, and is excited to see the peas fly everywhere and spends a good little time running around the room trying to collect all the peas that he missed.
Oh, he's having fun. I'm gonna go back to Whitling.
Litonk goes back to meditating.
I need to go and get some exercise done before I head to bed. Would you like me to take your dog with me, Trees?
You're welcome to take him. Doggo, fancy a walk?
Walk. Yes, walk.
He seems very into it.
Okay. I don't have anything to restrain it with.
We'll cut off some of my rope and make a little lead, a little harness lead, rather than just around the neck job.
Oh, I was expecting you to just tell it to, like, follow me. Now it's got its own little harness.
Means it won't choke itself if it tries to pull away.
All right.
Yeah.
Doggo obediently dons the little harness. He looks at you curiously as you hand him off to Enough, but seems to understand.
Alright, Enough's just gonna quickly chuck her clothes on, grab another handful of peas, and head outside for a run.
Okay. Is it mostly just evening maintenance things?
Yeah,
from this
just
point?
like gonna have a sort of like bucket round the town, wear the dog out, and sort of get used to the layout of the town a little bit.
Okay.
See if I come across anything interesting and or exciting.
The town's evening and nightlife is virtually non-existent. You do catch a few townsguard wandering, although they don't seem to be alarmed or in a state of unrest, so you don't necessarily think anything is going on. Jogging around the town, you get a rough idea of the layout. You know that closer to the harbor seems to be where most of the wealth, when it was here, was. based on where you're staying. There is a long strip through the town to the town gates that also seems to be full of merchants and different shops and trade. The outskirts of the area definitely are where less of the money and more of the lower class tend to reside. It's not a huge town, but all the same, it was nice at one point.
I only wrote half of that down. My pencil broke.
It's the luxury of the pen.
That's my damn pen.
I'm using it.
I'm using your crappy pencil and see where that got me.
I don't know I had a pencil. Why are you using a pencil?
Stop asking questions.
Mistakes do happen.
Teresa's just got to the point where she's now leaning out the window with a bit of sandpaper wrapped around freshly whittled dildo, just sanding it off, making sure that there's no rough bits on there. Just furiously wanking this dildo.
I feel like
Gotta get it nice and smooth.
I'd like you go
I'd like to imagine that's the site that I come back to.
make a craft check for me.
I don't think they're a thing.
They're not a thing in this.
Oh, they're not? What?
No.
God damn it. 5th edition.
Dexterity?
Just
maybe?
Read the book, Matt. Just read a character sheet.
No. Yeah, I have to.
Um,
Let me take a look, see what skills there are. I should have done this sooner.
The sleight of hand, I'd say, might be the closest.
really?
Well, what would you say?
Because that's... I suppose it is Yeah, dexterity makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
dexterity, I suppose.
Sir Aldix. 19.
All right.
That is a well-practiced motion.
Mm-hmm.
You're pleased with how this dildo has come out.
I'll be more pleased when I get to try it out.
You selected... Okay. You selected the lumber well. There's no cracks, not excessively dry. So it's not weak.
Nice sturdy piece of wood for us to play with his head.
And it's smoothed off nicely, so there are questions that I could ask, but I'm not gonna.
I really want to know what those questions are.
I'm going to clean up my wood shavings.
Perfect. Yeah, if you make it back with the dog, who is sufficiently tired, at a few different points while taking him out, he looked up at you, and you got the impression that he was trying to talk to you.
Okay. I'm gonna head back in, greet the receptionist on the way and ask her to send us...
She's gone from being a barmaid to a receptionist.
Is it? Sorry, I think I'm getting fancier. I'm sat too close to James. Next there's gonna be like a concierge or something. Right. So as I walk in, I'm just going to ask the barmaid to have some ice sent up, and I'm gonna walk in and... Trees, I think your dog wants something.
Alright, Doggo, what's up?
I'm happy.
I'm glad. You deserve to be happy.
Thank you, big dog.
Welcome.
Could you ask it why it kept looking at me quizzically earlier?
She wants to know why you were looking quizzically at her earlier.
Let me see. It tilts its head. What?
She says you looked confused earlier.
Oh. It smells bad.
Or, like, just the town in general.
The town.
Yeah, like evil bad? Or just...
Evil bad. Not everywhere.
Thanks, Doggo. So, the dog's saying that it smells evil bad around the town in a few places. Not everywhere. But, maybe it would be worth having a look around tomorrow.
Of course. So, what's the plan for tomorrow then? Head to the sewers and then search the town if we have time?
Maybe the two will be connected. But yeah, we'll start with the sewers, I guess.
Okay. I'm just going to have a drink and then head to bed, unless either of you need something from me.
You're good, love.
Litonk's already in bed.
I'm just going to take the dog out of its harness, sit and wait for my ice, have a drink, and go to sleep in the second biggest bed.
All right, the ice, a large block of ice comes to you not too long after. Did you specify to her what you needed this for?
She's a barmaid. I didn't feel like it needed specifying, but okay, I guess I deserve this.
She did bring like a ice cracker. It's basically just a little hammer.
Yeah, I know what an ice hammer is. No, Enough's gonna sort of look at it, smirk, and just, like, crush the ice with her claws instead.
Okay. While she's still there, like you're not even gonna wait for her to leave.
So is that what you got the ice for? Just to show off?
Just for a power move, yeah. I don't know. I feel like if she was going to point any robbers to the room, they're now going to think twice.
Is that why you got the ice?
What, just for like a little quiet bit of intimidation?
Yeah.
No, I wanted a drink, but opportunity
Okay.
presented itself.
All right. Well, there were already glasses in the room, so
Why did you get ice?
Because I wanted a cold drink.
Couldn't you have had water?
It's water with colder water in it.
No, it's not. It's just frozen water.
Yeah, I'm going to put the ice and the water together. How are you not understanding an iced glass of water?
You weren't explaining that. You said, I got ice because I wanted a drink. You don't drink ice.
well that's
Thought you were
why
in bed.
that's
Shut
why
up.
that's why the barmaid stuck around. She's like, all right, so it wasn't clear if you wanted like alcohol or
I
other.
was just going to use the room's tap,
Okay,
which doesn't do ice.
it does not.
How have we made this so hard? I just wanted a cold drink.
Okay, well you have your cold drink.
Thanks.
You've got it.
Right, well, that's like two of us in bed now.
Okay.
I don't want to hear what happens with the third.
I'm going to get into bed, and if there's enough space, I'm just going to lie in there under the covers and starfish.
So I think that's long rest done.
Yep.
Yay, we achieved what we set out to do.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, you can go ahead and reset your health and spell counters. You sleep very peacefully through the night. Trees, the bed is plenty big enough for you. There's actually extra room, which is not something that you're used to. Do you have like an objection to sleeping on like
Go on.
goose feather?
Would I know that it was goose feather without pulling it apart?
No, I suppose not. It's not
Yeah.
alive, so
Yeah.
couldn't tell you that.
I would object to sleeping on a goose, but...
I feel like the goose might object as well.
Right?
Potentially. Maybe it wants that.
Trying
Anyways,
to bait me into kink shaming a goose because it's not working.
day comes far too soon for all of you, happily and warmly nuzzled up in your bed. You are all awakened by a sharp knock at the door.
I guess we'd better do some credits then. I'm Becky Toothill, and I can be found as Curiosity Epidemic on Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And if you wanted to see the character sheets for anybody that we're playing as, then they can be found on curiosityepidemic.wordpress.com. James didn't want to record any credits, but you can have these two.
I am Jane Eris Magnet. I can be found on Twitter and YouTube as Maniac Janiac. I can be found on SoundCloud as Jane Eris Magnet, where I do a comedy podcast talking about various bits of interesting media and music and stuff, games we've played, and lots of silly skits. That's Queer and Pleasant Strangers that I do with Laura Kate Dale. Also on stonemonkeyradio.blog, where I write reviews. And I can be found every Thursday UK time around 19:30 hours over on twitch.tv/Janiac, where I'll be playing something with the help of my Sexy Potato Squad, my wonderful streaming community.